Hello. Once again, come before you all, whoever may come across this video, in the greeting words, universal words of peace. Hopefully, people are well, and and I wish nothing but the best for each and every person who may come across this video. I just wanted to get on here today. It's been kind of rough, with the weather. I'm in Michigan, and I'm pretty sure other people have been getting hit with snow and the typical winter stuff. And hopefully everybody is safe and sound, staying warm. Your power is on and stuff like that. I've been hearing about some places across the country have lost power. So I'm hoping that people have lost power, they can be back online. I can only tell, I know how it could be without power in the wintertime or anytime, definitely when you're trying to stay warm. So I just wanted to get on here, and it's been a couple of days since I was on here, but nothing has changed in regards to the craziness that we continue to see play out in our everyday life. And one of the things I wanted to speak on is what has been going on in Canada. Which is, I have to say that despite what the mainstream media and stuff wants to put out here, that's what's going on with these truckers and what they're trying to accomplish. I have to say, from my standpoint, I stand and support them. What they're doing over there is considered what would be considered heroic. That's real. That, to me, that's what a real hero is, and what's going on in Canada. Not somebody who goes according to watered down, confused lies and agendas that are bent on taking advantage or somehow misusing and taking advantage over another human being. So what these truckers are doing, they're basically saying they don't want any more of this stuff, especially with the lies and the madness that's been coming from the president up there, the prime minister up there, Justin Trudeau. And now it looks like Canada rules out use of troops against truckers, blockade, more protest plans. And it's like that was something that they were beginning to start to speak on. They wanted to use troops against them. And my thing is, why? What are they doing that's wrong? What is wrong about calling out government and the head, talking head? What is wrong with calling out the hypocrisy, the nonsense, and the lies? I mean, people want to talk about it as a health thing, but these folks done lied so much throughout this health thing that how can you take anything they say as anything of serious value? Outside of you doing your own research, you doing your own stuff, and doing what you feel like is best for you and your family. And likewise, I mean, what is the reason? I made it a point to look at a lot of the videos, live videos on the scene, not no videos, some stuff that was pre-recorded, but everything that was recorded live on what's going on. And throughout all these live streams, I never once saw any I didn't see anything negative going on. Period. Everybody I seen, it was hanging out, solidarity, feeding each other, blessing each other. I've seen people, every culture there. I even seen the Sikhs, the guys that have the head wraps, and everybody was out there on one cause about the lies, about the manipulation, about the agendas. You know, has to be in effect because you see the lies and all the bull hypocrisy before you, and you know we all know that over here a lot of this coverage has been limited. If we do get coverage, it's coverage like this. Iowans fed up with trucker blockade, blame police for inaction. But when you go and look into the live videos, live feeds, all these people from all these different provinces in Canada, even some from overseas, that then came over to support them, and everything is done in a professional, non-violent fashion. Where's the issue? Why is so obviously, you know, it's not about an issue of them speaking on behalf of Canada and those who are sick of that bullshit that's going on. And to be honest, all over the planet. Even I seen something earlier where it's starting to catch on in other areas of the world. I think Holland, Australia, Italy, anywhere, because truckers, the backbone of the planet is dealing with trucks. So no matter how much motherfucking try to avoid that shit, you can't avoid it. So they crank it up in other areas of the world, and it starts from this. And it's kind of sad to know that here it is. You know this injustice and bullshit going on, but here it is in our illustrious country that always stand up for democracy and what is right. But yet they're part of this bullshit too. And yet you never get any positive coverage of what's going on. You get shit like this, like everybody in Ottawa in Canada are going along with the narrative. Like they aren't supporting all these people out here, thousands of people. So that shit that they president said about, oh, fringe movement, minority, that's bullshit. And I encourage people, when you see the live footage, go to the live shit. This is live, boots on the ground. So ain't no fucking CNN, ain't no fucking MSNBC, ain't no CCTV, ain't none of that shit. Ain't no CBS, it ain't none of that shit. You got an independent person on the ground that's showing everything. And thousands of people, trucks everywhere. Everybody has an upbeat spirit. Everybody is there is nobody out judging nobody. Everybody's energy, everybody's focus is strictly on those who are considered to be a part of the governing authorities. Period. There is no other shit. I mean, that's where it has to go. That's where we need that shit in this country. Fuck that bullshit. There is nobody out there fighting about talking about no race shit. There wasn't nobody doing none of that. Everybody's energy is focused on the so-called governing authorities. And the main one is a damn elitist, a globalist, who came out of hiding. He ran into hiding, and then came out just to say, you know, some bullshit about we might end up having to use the troops and this and that and the third, and that these folks are racist, people who are, and you see none of that shit. And this is the sad thing, when you got people who talk on shit and they don't know what the fuck they talking about because they ain't really looking up shit like they should be, or looking for other avenues where you'll get a undistorted picture, you'll see that shit that for what it is. So obviously somebody got to be lying. If most of the people are out here having a good time in solidarity, calling out these lying ass hypocrite leaders over, and obviously if you got a lot of people involved in that, then you got a section that's trying to say what they're doing is wrong, but you don't have no issue. Somebody's lying. Like, you know, it's like that's the course of the day anyway, the main course. Motherfuckers lying about shit. So we have these folks over here trying to make these people seem like what they're doing is fucked up. But when I go to and look at live shit and coverage going on. Everybody there ain't none of that. So once again, like I said, I don't trust nothing this media here puts out anyway. And a lot of the shit they're doing in Canada, they're doing the same thing. A lot of it you have to use independent sources to find out for yourself what's going on. I've been hearing something is in the works about this country having a truckers thing. We have to see, but people are tired. People are sick of the shit. People are fucking sick of the narrative that is constantly leading to more and more dissatisfaction. Not only dissatisfaction, but also the knowingness of deeply set in a person, knowing that something is off. And it all ends with those who are so-called in authority. The shit that they're telling people to do, the shit that they're telling people to do with their children, the shit that they are telling people to do with limited choices or options. Like there is only one option, it's only this, or you can't eat, you can't live, you can't do that. If a person don't find something wrong with that, I don't know what else to tell you. That's obviously a world that a person would want to live in. And if that's the case, then so be it. They need to be in a world like that. But obviously, other people are not going. A lot of people do not agree and they have a right and a choice to do that. It's almost like a separation of worlds, almost like, damn. But when you see this shit, you see these folks lying daily in your fucking face about shit, even with what's going on in Canada, to a point that you won't cover this shit, first of all. Then when you do cover it, you cover it with propaganda to make it seem like these folks are on some negative shit. We know the negative shit. We've seen this. I'm not even gonna go into that. We know what negative shit can happen in a protest. But we're not gonna go there and discuss that, because this is a lot more substantial and bigger than that shit. And when you're talking about a whole planet being threatened with tyranny, of course this shit is way more important than any of that shit. So you want the facts, you want everything out in the open so that people can get the right message. But that ain't what they want. They want you to have the perception that these people out here, and our neighbors to the north, being in Detroit, that these people are just doing shit. They're just stopping daily life, which they already stopped daily life with all these lockdowns and all this shit, knowing these folks lying about a lot of bullshit. So they the cause of it. So why the fuck would you get mad when somebody else is doing something, especially when they're trying to get to some answers? So that fucking shit, get the fuck out of here with that. But only thing you'll see on this media would be shit headlines like that, you know, and then you will see shit that's condemning or trying to demonize them people, and that's not what it really is. Them folks are up there protesting against tyranny, anti-tyranny, anti-government, acting like they God. Basically what it is, anti-mandates and all this other shit. Just like how over here in this country, they're planning on people who in the military in the army who haven't gotten a so-called stuff, you know, certain stuff gonna happen. And it's like, how you gonna be able to do that? So you really gonna be able to, in a straight face, let people go from the military just like they did with nurses and everything else, or police and everything else, and then you sitting up here trying to pick fights with motherfuckers and all this shit. How the fuck you gonna get in anything? You got half your military forces don't even want to respect authority because of the shit they're doing, or they don't want to accept some shit that they're trying to offer. I mean, how do motherfuckers think that shit gonna play out, man? I don't know, but I know it's like something that a person should at least want to look at. Like, if you don't have a full force of people, I mean, what you gonna do? You gonna use National Guardsmen? And if they under the same shit, then a lot of them don't take that shit, then what? What you gonna do? Draft people? While you sitting up here trying to promote shit, promote fights with China and Russia and shit, how is that gonna work out? Plus doing stuff in the Middle East, claiming they went over here and did something with ISIS. I guess that's to get people off the fact that we've still had a man lying in front of Congress and who's tied up in all this pandemic shit, but we can't get no answers why he's been given a pass. We all know who that person is. How's that gonna play out? I don't, you know, and then the shit that they're doing over here with Joe Rogan, man, it's like, what the fuck, man? It's like nobody can say no, and it's like it's once again, it's blatantly obvious. Like if anybody says anything that's not considered kosher to them or to what the main narrative line, then we can't have we gotta have that. We gotta stop that. We gotta stop that shit. So with Joe Rogan, man, I mean, every time I looked at Joe Rogan and any of his podcasts, it's always been on some information shit. It's always been people who had the right to say what they had to say, and there were questions, debates, and answers, and that was it. That's what you're supposed to do. Even as that man being his host of his own show, he wasn't condemning people for what they believe. I don't agree with everything he says. A lot I do agree, some I don't. But at the same time, he gives people a platform. He doesn't say, because I don't agree with you, you can't come on my show and give your opinion on certain shit. That's the shit. That's the whole irony of shit. So now these folks doing all this bullshit about they taking that shit off Spotify and all that. Who gives a fuck really about what they? I don't even know who half of these motherfuckers is. Why are y'all still making music? But they trying to make it seem like this man is doing so much in misinformation, but yet these folks won't even call out the Supreme Court justice who gave misinformation on Omicron and over 100,000 children in the hospital. And that was straight up misinformation. It was called out as misinformation, but you don't see nobody telling the Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor to get off the bench because she gave misinformation. You don't see that. But yet they continue to pound on Joe Rogan to a point they got the White House speaking on this shit. And it's like, how the fuck y'all even got the audacity to speak on anything? As much lies that came out of that motherfucker. Don't matter if it was Trump in office or Biden. Don't matter. How the fuck y'all gonna speak on anything dealing with misinformation or anything, and all that been coming out of this motherfucking administration? It's been nothing but straight up misinformation. So get the fuck out of here, man, with that shit. It's sad, but unfortunately, that's where they got motherfuckers at. It's like the more you see, the more you get frustrated. Like, what the fuck, man? These folks has really lost their damn mind. So, you know, they at this man for shit that these folks are guilty of doing they fucking self. And the only thing is they don't want nobody to hear the other side. They don't want nobody to hear the other side of the fence. Just stay on this side. And knowing that these lying ass motherfuckers, these fake ass politicians and so-called rulers and shit, knowing that these lying motherfuckers have been lying this long and all this shit, how the fuck? Shit, they've been doing so much lying. It's possible anything could be possible with all the lying and misinformation they've been given. So get the fuck out of here. Why don't you leave that man alone and let him do what he's doing? Let him have his spot to do what he needs to do and bring on people that have a proper debate, an objective conversation about shit, which they are not trying to have. So I guess they'd rather line the media up here with that shit instead of showing how motherfuckers heroically are standing up against tyranny in Canada, which is kind of fucked up. That kind of is all the way fucked up. And then you go to, and you know, I had been talking about CNN. And you know, it seemed like CNN can't catch a break. You know, all the lying hypocrisy they've been doing, you know, all the motherfuckers, they all they little anchors, they be on there saying the same bullshit. Black, white, don't matter who the fuck they are, don't matter. Gay or straight, doesn't matter. All these motherfuckers on there talking all that shit about this, that, and the third. And here it is that CNN continue to be embroiled in hypocrisy and always want to push morality, but they in that whole company in itself is dealing with a lot of immoral shit. So now with that, with my man, let me go to article on that shit. So now with hold on 1 minute. 1 minute. So let me go ahead and share this. No, I'm not gonna be on here that long. Just get on here and do a little something. So, you know, with all the bullshit CNN got going on, all the people that have been fired or had to resign because of scandals, you know, motherfuckers had to be suspended because they were doing lewd sexual shit, jacking off on Zoom meetings and all this bullshit. And these motherfuckers supposed to be credible people to keep you informed, rightfully informed of shit that you really need to be informed of. Fuck out of here. So you know you got CNN, Jeff Zucker resigns because he was in a relationship with a former Andrew Cuomo aide, failed to disclose it. They don't fail to disclose a lot of the bullshit. They keep a lot of this, everybody in this country at it. You know, Fox, MSNBC, all these motherfuckers full of the same shit. And all these motherfucking hypocrites, all these motherfuckers is sitting in front of these cameras, in front of everybody's living rooms every day, bedrooms and shit. They're fucking hypocrites, liars, and they're going according to a fucking agenda. No matter how motherfucker don't want to acknowledge it or whatever. It's going to eventually come out because the house of cards at CNN is already started falling. It's been falling. So, you know, motherfucker got to realize when you getting your information from tainted motherfuckers, 9 times out of 10, that information ain't going to be accurate. It's only going to be information that's put out there for a specific purpose. And the majority of the time, that purpose is for some type of control. So you got these hypocrites at CNN doing shit they ain't supposed to be doing, getting called out, having to flee the scene, you know. So here it is. President Zucker resigned Wednesday for failing to disclose a romantic relationship. He wanted to stay in temporarily, but he faced a possible fire if he did not step down. I doubt that would have happened, but if it did, it would have been for show. It wouldn't have been because they actually felt how he did something wrong and he needed to pay the consequence for that. No, we already know it would have been on some bullshit. But yeah, so CNN back in the news on some bullshit. And then this right here, for those that like Facebook still and think Facebook is some straight up shit, think Facebook may be let me go ahead and you know, we still in a time period in which inflation and all this stuff is going up, man. Motherfucker can't see that. I don't understand. I don't know where they've been at. But look at this shit, man. Look at Facebook, Meta. All that money they lost. Look like they may be headed to a downward spiral. I don't know. But it seemed like ever since all that bullshit got called out on Facebook about shit they was supporting, aiding and assisting in election shit and this and that and the third, then all of a sudden they changed it to Meta and got motherfuckers want to live in a fake reality. How that's appealing to people, I don't understand. I don't get it, but to each their own. But it looked like a lot of that shit ain't making no money like they thought it was, because the shit crashing. I mean, to a point that Mark Zuckerberg is, I guess he's blaming TikTok or whatever, but don't look like they faring too well with this shit. Look like a lot of stuff has been the stocks on their shit has been has plummeted. So you don't know, maybe Facebook might be on the chopping block. I don't know. I know a lot of people gonna be hurt behind that shit because motherfuckers act like they can't live without it. There was a time in history that shit never existed. Motherfucker was moving, grooving without any of that shit. A lot of stuff is meant to help out in some situations, but some stuff is just not meant out to help. It's meant for something deeper and darker on down the line. And it looks like Facebook Meta going through some issues. All this while this trucker shit going on, and these folks still trying to press people to do this and do that with them, with their own being. You know, so let me go back to, so we got all this shit going on still. You got Boris Johnson in Great Britain. Them folks still going after him about that shit. It seems like more and more parties and stuff continue to get added to that list of shit that they're trying to cover up, especially when they had all their citizens locked down and they're doing all their shit under cover of darkness, thinking it wouldn't be found out. But it looked like 4 of his aides quit during this scandal that's going on in Great Britain. Why he's still in I guess it's gonna come to a point where people in Great Britain are just gonna be like people in Canada. Like his ass gotta go. As a matter of fact, they already like that. They just ain't got the trucker movement going. But eventually they're gonna be like, his ass gotta go, just like the motherfucker in Canada. Now, I don't know how that's gonna impact over here. We know motherfuckers over here gotta go. I mean, some people feel like certain people gotta go and then bring Trump in. He's gonna do better. I don't see how that's gonna help the equation. How any evil is gonna benefit this country or the planet, period. These folks need to be out of these positions and out of the limelight, and motherfuckers got to stop giving them attention, period. It's just simple as that, man. So these folks over in Great Britain are still dealing with that shit with they hypocrite ass prime minister. So his aides who are with him partying, they quit, but he's still in a position of authority, even though his hypocrisy and all that shit has been called out. And eventually that shit is going to come to a point where what's in the dark will come out to the light. So we'll see how that shit get handled. So, still a lot of stuff still transpiring, and I'm trying to stay ahead of, stay up on shit. Sad thing about it, a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people will continue to trust mainstream media like they're gonna give everybody the stories they need to they're not gonna do it. And to hold out any hope that there are, it's like you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. If these folks won't even show something as massive as a trucker convoy and protest and demonstration in the next country, in the country above, And especially living in on the border areas like Michigan, Detroit area, we got a bridge, tunnel, go to Canada. We right here at Canada. Especially in border states, and you can't even get no footage of that shit outside of a little bit here and a little bit there, and then there's some negative shit thrown in there. Then yeah, I mean, if you can't even get that, you can't get the decency of having footage on that. But you'll sure get shit about, oh, we just killed ISIS leader in Syria. More violence, more death, more fucking bullshit. But when you talk about something that's trying to at least bring some light to a situation in which people could begin to realize that a lot of these folks who claim your leaders or whatnot, they really ain't in it for being the good guys. You know, this is basically what these folks are calling out: the tyrannical shit, the shit and the outright lying that they're doing. How can you respect or accept any shit like that? Let alone when it's dealing with health. But it boggles my mind how motherfuckers can sit here and legitimize any of that shit. Anybody calling out any other human being because of some choice they didn't want to make, and no matter whatever reason they have, fuck that. It ain't even got to do with whatever reason. Motherfuckers should be questioned anyway. They should have. Motherfuckers is supposed to be free enough to enjoy their freedom. That include being able to make choices with your body, all that shit. So when does it come you're only free to walk up and down the street, go to the liquor store, and go back to the house. You're only free enough to go to work 40 hours a week, 80 hours a week, however many hours a week, come back home, watch a little TV, repeat. You're only free enough to engage in political banter and shit with those who you see with your own eyes, sitting up here lying and confusing people and playing the dozens, showing favoritism, all this shit. How does that work? So, you know, I gotta say, man, I got much love and respect for the human beings in Canada who are stepping up and standing against that shit. There's nothing but love and respect from me on that issue about this. They got my support. They got hey, all my energy. A lot of my energies and intent will be put forth with them guys. Well, they ain't all guys, women, men, even I was even seeing children there. Everybody is there. Everybody knows who are not hoodwinked into this illusion, know that this threat that we are faced with here is a threat that is all over. And it doesn't matter what color this is, or whether you're looking in a Bible or Quran or a Hindu book, Vedas or whatever. It don't matter what the hell, all that stuff doesn't even matter, man. This stuff that these folks are trying to do, man, tyrannical shit, you know, the taking your choice, you know, and then the nerve of them to try and push shit for people's children, man. That's sad, man. And people actually looking at this shit like, oh, and it's fucked up, man. But I gotta say, them to all the people in Canada, the truckers and everybody, even all over the globe, hey, if you come around this video, ain't nothing but love. Got nothing but respect for what y'all doing. Got my support. The haters and the naysayers and the non-believers who don't believe that this system is falling down and will crash because of the bullshit they don't want to relinquish. That's basically what it is. But the cat's out the bag. A lot of people know y'all fucking liars, you hypocrites. You motherfuckers are out for money bags. You're out for your particular circles to enrich themselves while everybody else gets shuttered to the curb and told what to do, and hopefully they won't recognize or wake up to anything. And you're sadly mistaken. That's what is happening. This is an awakening. Everybody awakens in different ways and different manners. There's a lot deeper shit going on, but the most common ground shit is that we know that these folks in power are lying about a lot of shit. The reason why, haven't got our finger on it, but we need to start as a group, as humans in solidarity with each other, calling out this shit for what it is. Don't matter who you are, call it out. And I got much love, much respect for them guys up there in Canada, man. Keep it going, man. And eventually, we'll see what's gonna happen here. But with that, I just want to get on in here and share that and just say, hey, before y'all believe this shit that this news media is saying here in this country, y'all better look that shit up. Y'all better try and search, do some independent shit. Hell, stop being so fucking egotistical that you can't go to an independent news site. Stop thinking that everything a motherfucker put out here has got to be on some conspiracy shit, when the conspiracy is right in front of our fucking face. The conspiracy is in somebody being able to lie in front of Congress on numerous occasions, and yet still be responsible, the go-to guy that's responsible for your medical recovery and the medical prognosis of how this pandemic will. You notice you ain't really been hearing nothing of that shit. You ain't really been hearing nothing about, but cases dropping, and you ain't hearing nothing about Fauci. I'm gonna say his fucking name, but you still don't hear nobody calling that shit out about why the fuck this, that, and the third. But hey, with this, you know, the ball is rolling. That's in the dark will come to light. And I just hope that all these people in media and all this shit, that they begin to see that the more you go along with this shit, the more you're a part of the problem than you are a part of the solution. No matter how good your heart is, you can't get up here and go along with shit, putting out distortions, putting out half-truth bullshit, putting out one aspect of a story and not another, and which blatantly shows that it leads to an agenda. And then you go home and sleep at night, and that shit impacts people's lives, and it not come back on your conscience. You're gonna have to own up to this shit sooner or later. So with that, I just greet everyone as I came, in the universal greeting of peace, and I send a lot of peace y'all way, fellow human beings in Canada. Peace.